Well, for more on just what's at stake today, we can cross live now to Brussels to speak with our correspondent there, Maeve McMahon. Hi, Maeve. A senior EU diplomat has been quoted as saying that reaching a deal today will be difficult but doable. Just how likely are we to see a deal come out of today's talks?
Well, we're hearing that there's hope for progress, that there's a 50-50 chance in them reaching a deal. But ahead of crunch talks like this, we always hear a lot of rumours and speculation. It will be, of course, hard to know, despite the fact that there is willingness on both sides, of course, to reach a deal. All we do know for sure is today is the absolute deadline. That's what Donald Tusk said for Theresa May. When she shows up for lunch a little bit later in Brussels with David Davis, the Brexit secretary, she will be expected to present a comprehensive list on proposals on those three issues: the financial settlement, citizens' rights, and the Irish border. On citizens' rights, there seems to have been a lot of headway already, but there's still a few issues that need to be worked out on family reunification and the role of the European Court of Justice. On the financial settlement, it does seem the UK is willing to move. The Irish border talks have been ongoing all over the weekend. There's hope that a deal could be struck, but it's not, of course, 100% sure. And ahead of this meeting, there's been a lot of pressure on Theresa May. Over the weekend, we saw the Leave Means Leave Brexit group in the UK tell her not to sign up to any sort of divorce bill here in Brussels unless she gets a new set of demands that she can get the EU to sign up on. Otherwise, they say she shouldn't agree to anything. They want to make sure the EU agree to, by March 2018, having a deal in principle on, of course, the future trade relations. But of course, on the divorce bill, that's a serious issue for the European Union side. They believe it's a matter of fairness, and 10 billion euros of that divorce bill would, of course, go to pensions of former Eurocrats like that of Nigel Farage, who was an MEP.
And Maeve, what looks set to be the most contentious issues today?
Well, the Irish border issue, most certainly. Talks have been underway all weekend between Dublin, Brussels and London. But the Irish government has been looking for written guarantees from the UK side. They want to make sure that the common travel area remains intact, that the Good Friday Agreement remains intact, and they want to avoid any sort of customs divergence post-Brexit. They also want to make sure that the rights of those living in Northern Ireland are not diminished after post-Brexit. And today the Irish Cabinet will be holding a meeting on the Brexit deal. So will the UK side. And Donald Tusk just last Friday held a meeting, that's the EU Council President, held a meeting in Dublin saying that whatever deal, that if any deal was unacceptable to Dublin, it would then be acceptable to the European Union side. The European Union, 27 states, the European Parliament and the European Commission have been backing the Irish government since the outset when it comes to Brexit. But the Irish side are very keen as well, just like the UK, to move swiftly onto trade talks.
A big day in Brussels today. Maeve McMahon, thank you very much indeed.